Alright, welcome on board, guys. Welcome to part 2 of the Kinemaster versus Capcut series. Alright, so let's quickly get right into it. So we're going to be looking at a few functions on the Kinemaster app. Right, so those functions that were previously in the previous versions of the app. So we are also going to be looking at those functions, right, as you can see here. So let's quickly look at the in animation of this text. So you can see when I click on in animation, it gives me different options. So I have the pop in animation, I have the fade in animation, I have the slide right, slide left, slide up, slide down, clockwise animation, counterclockwise animation, drop animation, and so many of them like that, right? And so many of them like that. So I want to use the pop in animation, so you can see that. So the pop in animation is what I want to use, so I can increase and reduce the timing. So when I put the timing to 2, you can see that it is actually reduced, so it pops out very slowly. But when I increase it and put it at, let's say, 0.1, you can see how fast it pops out, right? So the in animation is quite intact. It's quite intact, so not much difference from the previous app, right? So looking at the overall animation, let's look at the overall animation. So you can see the overall animation too. We have blink slow, blink slow. We have the flicker animation. We have pulse animation. We have jitter animation, right? So I wouldn't advise that you use overall animation for your text and object while using Kinemaster, right? I won't advise you to use the overall animation, so your audience can easily see your text or your object, right? So now let's select an overall animation for this text. So I'm going to select an overall animation. So let's say jitter. So you can see, so your text is going to be moving, your text is going to be in motion. So you don't want that. So let's move on to the next. So I'm just simply going to put it off. So we're going to select none for our overall animation. So let's look at our out animation, how we want our text to go out, right? So it is also similar to what we had in the previous version of Kinemaster, right? So you can see the same fade, slide right, still the same thing, right? So they are all intact. They are all intact in this new app, right? So I'm just simply going to, let's just put it off. I select none. So let's look at the color selection tool. So this color selection tool is quite similar to the one in the previous app, right? It's quite similar to the one in the previous app. So if I want to change the color of my text, I can simply use this tool and select the color I want to use. So if you want to go to your recently used colors, you can see this color palette here. So I can easily select from the colors I have used before, right? So I can easily select from the colors I have used before. And if you also have a color code you want to use for your text, you can simply make adjustments here, right? So if you have a color code from maybe Canva or Photoshop or CorelDRAW, I want to make a quick video, right? You have the color code you want to use for your video, you can quickly make adjustments here, right? And select a color code, right? So simply going to go with this color code, right? So let's move on to the alpha opacity. So the alpha opacity, as usual, you get to reduce the opacity of your text. You can see you can reduce the opacity of your text that way. So that one too is also intact. So let's move on to rotate/mirroring. So I can actually mirror this my text. You can see smartphone videography. So let me select this text for larger, so I can actually mirror this my text. So you can see that. So I mirror it to the right. So let's mirror it back, done. Mirror it upside down, you can see. So I can also rotate it too. Can also rotate this text. Can also rotate this text. You can see that. Clockwise and anti-clockwise. So this is clockwise, this is anti-clockwise. You can see, so you can rotate your text, you can mirror your text if you want to. So let's look at the blending tool. Let's look at the blending tool. You can see, so the blending tool is quite the same, not much difference, right? Not much difference from the previous app. So let's quickly leave that. Okay, select it back to normal. Now let's move on to text options. So give, for example, I brought in my text and I want to align my text to the left. If I want to align my text, anytime you want to align your text, just click on the text alignment option. So if you want to align your text to the left, you click left. If you want to align your text to the middle, you click middle. And if you want to align your text to the right, you click right. You can see that. So let's select this text, okay, and go to text option. So you can see I just aligned that text very well. I just aligned it to the left, and this is how I want it. It is perfect like this. It is very, very perfect like this. So if I want to align it to the middle, I select middle, and if I want to align it to the right, you can see. So it is perfect when I align it to the left this way. So you can see character and line. This option is for spacing your text. You can see it is actually for spacing your text. So if you want to space your text, you click on the character option. While for the line, if I want space between a text above and a text below, so you can see, so I can reduce the spacing, I can also increase the spacing. So let's just put it back at the default settings. So that is how you align your text. That is how you make changes to the text alignment by using the text option too. So now let's click on outline. You can see that. So if I want my text to have an outline, so let's click on Fola George and give it an outline. So I click on outline, I enable the outline, and what do? I select a color for my outline. So let's say I want my color to be yellow. Let's say yellow, right? Okay, so I want my outline to be yellow, but it's not looking really appropriate. Let's use something appropriate. So you can say let's give it like a red color, right? So you can see that the outline of my text is actually too weighty. It is too heavy, so I'm just going to simply reduce it. You can see just a little, so you can put it at 5 or 4. I think 5 looks much more moderate, right? So if you want to add an outline to your text, just simply click on outline and enable outline and choose the color of your outline and optimize the weight of your outline, right? Give it a good setting, right? So now I can also add shadow to my text. You can see, so I simply enable shadow. So however I want my shadow to be, I can adjust the settings here. So the distance, the angle, the spread, the size, however I want it, right? So just think it's okay like this. Default setting is actually okay. So how you want it is the way you should go about it. So I think default settings for this shadow is okay. I'm just simply going to leave my shadow like that. It's actually looking cool. I can also add glue, right? So since I've added shadow to my text, I don't really need to add glue to it again. So you can see if you want to glue your text, you can glue your text here. So let's see if black would look good. So if you want to glue your text however you want it, just make it look appropriate, just make it look good. So we don't need glue when we are already using shadow, right? When we are already using shadow. So if I want to add a background color, just like we had in the previous app, if I want to add a background color to this my text, I simply enable it. So I click on enable and I click on okay. If I want to choose red, let's say I want to choose red. Alright, red. Okay, so I increase the opacity the opacity is usually at 50% on default settings. So I just increase the opacity, right? I increase the opacity to the fullest, so however I want it, but it's not looking too appropriate. So let me change my text to white. Let me change this collageous text to white so we can have a background, so you can see that. So I can now use a I can use a black background. I can use a black background, right? So it looks much more appropriate this way. So you can see. So I'm just simply going to make a little adjustment to this, right? Make a little adjustment. So there we go. There we go. Okay. So this is the full width background settings. So if I want, you can see the adjustment there. So if I want the background to cover the whole thing there, I just simply select full width background, right? So I think it's cool to leave it that way. So that is how, so that is that about that for the text settings. So these settings on the new Kinemaster app is not really different from, right? It's not really different from the previous app. So if I want to select a new font, right? So I have fonts to choose from. So all these fonts here, they came with the app, unlike the previous app whereby you had to download them from the asset store, right? So you can also trim your text, trim to the left, trim to the right. So let's trim this text here. I'm just going to trim this particular text. I just click on trim to the right, and these two trim to the right. So we have come to the end of this video. So in the next video, which is going to be part 3 of the Kinemaster versus Capcut series, the last part of this series, we are going to be looking at sound, right? We're going to be looking at sound in our next video, sound settings, and going to be learning about sound in the next video. So I hope you guys got value from this video. If you got value from this video, don't forget to subscribe, right? Hit the like button and hit the subscribe button to get notified when a new video drops. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you very much for watching to this point. Bye bye.